Not like this!
At the bottom of a pit, left here by his own blood, a 17-year-old boy cried out to God. Above him, a small circle of light, impossibly far to reach. He whispered the only name he had left.
God, please, don't leave me here.
The memory was a fresh wound, his own brother's hands shoving him. Have you ever been there? Abandoned in your darkest hour by the very people you called family? This is the story of Joseph. A story that begins in a pit, but does not end there. Our story begins not in Egypt, but in Canaan, in a tent filled with the voices of 12 sons. Their father was Jacob, and his heart belonged most to Joseph, the son of his beloved Rachel. While his older brothers labored beneath the scorching sun, Joseph remained under their father's protective shadow. Then Jacob gave Joseph a gift, a magnificent robe woven with every color, a public declaration of special favor. "Wear this, my son," Jacob said, "and know you are set apart in my eyes." The words were a blessing and a curse. The brothers watched, and a cold, quiet hatred took root in their hearts. They could not speak a kind word to him. Then Joseph began to dream, vivid, prophetic dreams. In the first, he stood in a field of grain. His bundle of grain stood upright, tall and proud, while his brothers' bundles gathered around and bowed to it. When he told them this dream at breakfast, the air grew cold. Forks stopped midair. Their eyes turned to ice. Then came a second dream, even bolder. The sun, moon, and 11 stars all bowing before Joseph. Even his father was stunned.
What is this dream? Shall I and your mother bow to you?
Jacob demanded, but Jacob kept the matter in his heart. The brothers, however, did not wonder. They simply hated. Hatred, once planted, waits patiently for its moment to grow. And their moment was coming. One day, the brothers took the flocks far from home to graze. Days passed without word. Jacob grew worried.
"Joseph,"
He said,
"go find your brothers. See if they are safe, and bring me word."
Obediently, Joseph set out alone across the rocky hills, the colorful robe flowing behind him like a banner. From a high ridge, his brothers saw a speck of brilliant color moving toward them through the brown landscape. One of them spat on the ground,
Look, here comes the dreamer.
his voice thick with venom.
Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams.
Another hissed.
No bloodshed. Throw him into that empty cistern instead.
When Joseph reached them smiling, they tore the beautiful robe from his body, and with a heave, they threw their little brother into the deep, dark, dry pit in the ground. From the darkness below, Joseph cried out for his brothers. But his brothers sat down to eat their lunch as if nothing had happened. A caravan of Ishmaelite traders approached. What could have been rescue became damnation. Judah's eyes shifted. The rage cooled into something colder, more practical. The jingle of camel bells carried on the desert wind.
What profit is there in killing our brother?
The pit is not enough. Now they want to make profit. They pulled Joseph from the darkness. He stood trembling, blinking in the sudden light. The traders examined him like livestock, testing muscles, setting a price. 20 silver pieces clinked into Judah's waiting palm. The price of a brother. The cost of a soul. Joseph was led away. He looked back once, a final glimpse of the brothers who had been his whole world. Then the caravan vanished into a cloud of desert dust, carrying Joseph toward an unknown future. Back at the pit, the brothers took Joseph's colorful robe and dipped it in fresh goat's blood. The vibrant colors darkened with crimson, a beautiful garment transformed into evidence of a lie. They told Jacob,
We found this.
unable to meet his eyes.
Do you recognize your son's robe?
A guttural cry tore from his throat as he ripped his own clothes' fabric, tearing like his heart. He collapsed to the ground, the bloody robe clutched to his chest, his body shaking with sobs.
A wild animal has devoured him. Joseph is torn to pieces.
Days passed, weeks, months. Jacob refused all comfort. He will go down to Sheol, mourning his son.
With us, my love.
Meanwhile, under a foreign sky, Joseph saw Egypt's pyramids for the first time. Massive and posing, in a bustling market, Joseph stood on the auction block, a piece of property to be sold to the highest bidder. Potiphar, captain of Pharaoh's guard, examined him carefully. The gavel fell. Sold. That first night in his master's house, he faced a choice. Become bitter or become better. He chose excellence. Even in exile, he worked with integrity, as if every task mattered. And something remarkable happened. Everything Joseph touched prospered. Fields yielded more. Accounts balanced perfectly. Potiphar noticed. Where there was chaos, Joseph brought order. Where there was lack, he brought abundance.
I trust you with everything I have.
Potiphar said, placing the household keys in Joseph's hand. But Joseph caught another's eye. Potiphar's wife watched him, not with admiration, but with desire.
Stay with me.
She whispered,
No one needs to know.
her fingers tracing his arm.
How could I do this great evil and sin against God?
Day after day she pursued. Day after day he refused. A silent war in the quiet house. Finally, desperate, she grabbed his cloak as he turned to leave.
Stay!
She demanded. Joseph fled, leaving her holding the evidence of her humiliation. Humiliation curdled into hatred. If she couldn't have him, she would destroy him.
Help! Oh, the Hebrew slave attacked me!
She held up the torn cloak. The perfect victim.
Proof.
Potiphar returned to chaos. His weeping wife. The ultimate betrayal by a trusted man. Joseph offered no defense. He just looked at Potiphar with eyes full of sorrow.
Arrest him!
Potiphar commanded. Once again, for doing right, Joseph was thrown into darkness. The prison door slammed shut, but a familiar presence. God had not abandoned him here either. On his knees in the filthy cell, Joseph prayed. Not for rescue, but for strength to remain faithful. And even here, Joseph brought order. He served. He led. The prisoner became the prison's manager. 2 new prisoners arrived, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker. Both men looked haunted. We had dreams, they said, and no one can interpret them.
Don't interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams.
The cupbearer described a vine with 3 branches bearing grapes he pressed for Pharaoh.
In 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you to your position.
Joseph said. The baker described 3 baskets of bread, birds eating from them.
In 3 days, Pharaoh will execute you.
As the cupbearer left, Joseph says,
Remember me. Mention me to Pharaoh. I don't belong here.
I will remember, the cupbearer promised earnestly. 3 days later, the cupbearer stood beside Pharaoh again, holding the golden cup of office. 3 days later, the baker was led to execution. Both interpretations had proven true. Joseph waited at his window, any day now. The cupbearer would remember. he would be free. Days passed, weeks. The cupbearer celebrated his freedom. Joseph remained in the dungeon. Then Pharaoh was tormented by nightmares, vivid, terrifying dreams that stole his sleep. Fat cows devoured by skinny cows. Healthy grain swallowed by withered grain. The dreams repeated. He summoned every magician and wise man in Egypt. They consulted scrolls and failed. Suddenly, the cupbearer remembered.
I know a man.
Guilt washed over him. He told Pharaoh. Guards rushed to the dungeon.
Pharaoh calls for you.
After 2 years of silent sudden hope, they shaved him, bathed him, dressed him in clean linen. Joseph stood small before the massive golden throne. Pharaoh said,
I hear you interpret dreams.
I cannot, but God will give the answer.
Joseph replied,
Store grain during the good years, to save the nation during the famine.
He advised. Pharaoh was astonished.
Since God has shown you this, you shall be in charge of my palace.
Pharaoh's signet ring slid onto Joseph's finger, the symbol of royal authority transferred in a moment. Fine linen robes, a gold chain. Joseph rode in Pharaoh's second chariot. The herald cried,
Bow the knee.
and the people bowed, just as he had dreamed as a boy. In Canaan, Jacob's family was starving.
Go to Egypt for grain.
Jacob said wearily. They bowed low before the Egyptian governor. Not knowing they bowed to their brother, Joseph recognized them instantly. His heart pounded. Years of pain and longing surfaced. He composed himself.
You are spies.
He accused harshly.
You've come to see our weakness. Bring your youngest brother to prove your story. Keep one of them behind.
He demanded. Reluctantly, Jacob sent Benjamin. The brothers returned to Egypt with their youngest brother. Joseph tested them further, hiding his silver cup in Benjamin's grain sack. Benjamin was accused. The punishment, slavery in Egypt. One brother stepped forward.
Take me as slave instead. Let the boy return to his father.
Joseph could bear it no longer.
Everyone, leave me.
His voice breaking.
I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?
His brothers stumbled back in sheer terror. The brother they sold now held power of life and death.
Do not be distressed. You intended evil, but God intended it for good.
He embraced his weeping younger brother Benjamin, holding him as if he'd never let go. Then he embraced each terrified brother, offering complete, unconditional forgiveness. Jacob was brought to Egypt. After decades of mourning, he would see his son alive. Father and son ran toward each other across the field, embracing and weeping for joy. The family was whole again. What was broken was miraculously restored through forgiveness. From the pit of betrayal, to the prison of false accusation, to the palace of purpose, Joseph's journey teaches us, your pain is not wasted. Your waiting is not meaningless. What others intended for your harm, God can use for your destiny. Stay faithful in the darkness. Your redemption story is being written. A new chapter is coming. Your story is far from finished, even in this moment, even now.